Hello, hello. Welcome to video number 2 of the Waymaker series. If y'all hear my dogs barking, I am so sorry. Also, if it's laggy, let me go. So sorry. Let me do not disturb this. Okay. Oh, Lord. Trying to make me lose my mind today. Happy Sunday. We are so happy that you are joining us for video 2. This video is going to be all about leadership and what you need to do as a leader. And with that being said, I'm going to dive right in. Leadership starts at 1. Okay. So even if you don't have anyone underneath you yet, these are great systems to start implementing into your business so that you can get into the routine and the habits of what leaders do and what successful leaders do, because leadership is not an option, right? If you are going out of your way to sponsor someone and someone trusts you enough to choose you, leadership is not an option, right? You have decided to become a leader and you need to hold up your end of the bargain and do your servanthood well, right? Because that's what a leader is. It's just servanthood. So leadership starts with 1, right? Brittany was my very first, I don't even like to say recruit because that's not how I work. I am not one to do the whole, let's have a million join conversations. And that probably does stunt my business a little bit, make my journey go longer, but I want people to come to me because that's how I know that they're serious, right? I can have a million join conversations all day, every single day. But I think that begins to make me look spammy and I am super anti-spammy pammy, right? Like that is not how I run my business. So I always like to say that Brittany was my first, but she was the one who created leader Marissa, because her and I learned together. She started implementing things into her business that inspired me and motivated me. And that's another thing as a leader. If you're not being inspired and motivated by the people who join under you, then you're not their boss, right? Like you're their friend, you're their co-worker, right? Like you have no entitlement over them. You should definitely always be learning from the people underneath you. And if you have a closed mindset, you need to just reevaluate everything from the very beginning, right? Also, if you think you're their boss, you need to reevaluate everything from the beginning, because that's going to eat you alive. Like once your business grows too much not too much, but grows more, you're going to notice that you don't have time to be like bossing and managing and doing all the things. Your job as a leader is to be the way maker, show the way, right? And that's kind of what this series is about. So you need to show up for the people who choose you. If you don't want to lead, there is an option, right? So if you make a small team, this has happened before, and you're just like, this is not for me, it's overwhelming, because it can be, right? Leadership is servanthood and you have to be there for people. Then you can do something that's called taking a non-leadership role in Scentsy. And all you have to do is let your sponsor, your director, or your star director know, or your superstar director, but on our team, it would be one of us. And then go to your consultant chat. We talked about that in the last video. And you need to let Scentsy know that you don't want to be a leader. You don't want to take a leadership role. You just want to make money off of your own purchases. And that's completely fine. If anything, that's amazing that you're transparent enough to allow the people who maybe you did start and you're like, oh, this isn't for me, but that allows us to work one-on-one with them and teach them the way without stepping on anybody's toes, right? So just go ahead, let your director or your star director know that leadership may not be for you right now, and let Scentsy know that you want to take a non-leadership role. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Share screen. Every time I'm always like, where are the buttons that I need to push? Okay. So this is, let's move this. Okay. So this is something that I would be like 1, 2, 3 screenshot. Okay. Remember, this is a slide all about leadership tips. Okay. So have your yes. This is something that Brittany taught me. Okay. So have your yes mean yes and have your no mean no, right? So that also will go closer down the line in setting boundaries in your business and setting boundaries as a leader. If you say yes, that I'm going to be at a training, that I am going to show up for my team, then I better see you on that training, right? There is absolutely no reason that you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, right? That's not what leaders do. And that's not what successful people do. So if you really want to go excel in this business, your yes means yes and your no means no. If someone has asked you for a one-on-one coaching call and they bailed on you the last 3 times, you need to say no. They don't respect your time anymore. And it's all about mutual respect. Leadership is all about mutual respect. If you know me, I am huge into mutual respect. So do not ask your team to do things that you are not doing. If you are not having conversations and following up with your customers and working your business every day, you don't need to ask your team to do that either. Okay. I'm good. Okay. You need to focus on, so for beginners, I say the rule is actually to try to add 2 new teamies to your team. And I think Brittany will mention that, but I don't want to overwhelm my people. So I think that you should focus on 2,000 PRV every single month, and you're not going to get it at first. And if you do, you're a rock star, but the not getting it shouldn't make you not try for next month. Okay. So 2,000 PRV every single month, because you're going to get that commissions bonus. Okay. And then I say 1 new teamie every single month, because if you're doing what you need to be doing, so I don't necessarily go out and be like, hey, have you ever thought about joining Scentsy? That's not my thing, but I do like to show how Scentsy blesses my life daily on social media or daily in my one-on-one conversations. I like to show the fun that Scentsy's brought into my life. Those are the types of things, and Brittany's really good about that too. Those are the types of things that's like a planted seed join conversation, right? Like I didn't necessarily be like, hey, do you want to join my team? No, that's not my thing. But I am going to be like, look how Scentsy has blessed my life. And that is enticing to people. And that's what's going to bring them to me. That's how I'm going to differentiate the serious people versus the kidnappers, right? So, which it's fine if you're a kidnapper, but I like to work with serious people personally. So you need systems for your personal business. If you don't have your business in a row, like your ducks in a row for your own personal business, you have no business telling people how to run theirs, right? Like if you don't have a follow-up system, if you don't have systems in general, you have no business telling other people what to do or how to do it, because you don't have a consistent habit. So make sure you're working on your own personal business. Get your ducks in a row. We always say 500 by the 15th. If you want to make it the 10th, do it the 10th. Make sure if you're not getting that 500 by the 15th, you need to go back into your list of 100. You need to go back into your network marketing systems, and you need to find new customers, right? So another thing for leaders is culture. Create a place that people don't want to leave, okay? We are always, as network marketing partners, going to be replacing the 80%. Okay. That sounds scary and that sounds defeating, but it's not. It's actually really fun, because you are always going to be able to work with new people. You're always going to be finding like new fire in people, and it's going to hand in hand motivate you when you're not necessarily motivated. So you are always going to be replacing the 80%, and there's going to be one rock star that's going to change your business, right? So you can't quit at the people who want to quit. Your rock star is coming. Brittany is my rock star. She changed everything about my business, everything. She changed my mindset, which helped me change my business. She was someone who was doing the things and that I needed to do. And and still, I think this week is going to be my 5 years in Scentsy. She still motivates me every single day. She is my rock star, and you will find a Brittany if you're working your business the right way. Okay. Show up every single day to become trustable. If your team doesn't trust you, that's on you, right? Like everybody has bullshit. Okay. Everybody has things going on in their life that suck. Okay. Everybody has hard days, right? And I'm not saying you need to make yourself bleed for your team. Like that's absolutely not true. We're going to talk about self-care next, but you need to show up when you don't want to show up, right? Like you need to treat it as a job, right? Like you're not going to want to show up every minute of every day. That's not real, right? But you need to show up when you don't want to show up so that your team trusts you. When I notice that when I am showing my team how I'm making my follow-up mail, how, like literally the simplest things, what I text in my follow-up, text, like they want to see just the most simple things of how you're working, because they want to see you consistently working, and that's how they're going to still consistently work. I noticed that when I stop sharing what I'm doing every single day, so does the team, right? Like our numbers go down. When you're a leader, you've got to be the way maker. And I know I keep saying that, but that really is that you are a way maker. You are a show, like you show the way. So what else? You need duplicatable systems. You don't want to make anything too hard. This business is not hard. It's not meant to be hard. Okay. Is it time consuming? Yeah. Everything that's worth it is going to be a little time consuming, right? You've got to set aside 30 minutes to an hour every single day to work your business intentionally. And you need to have systems that are duplicatable, because if your systems seem like crazy and so much work, your team isn't going to want to try that. Right. And everything they try may not work for them, but the longer they're in the business and the longer they grow as a person, they're going to, for me. So I have watched 7 million YouTube videos about systems, and I literally take a little bit of this here. I take a little bit of this here. I take a little bit of this here. None of them are original ideas to myself, but they all come together to be an original system for Marissa. And my system is not Brittany's system, right? So you've got to immerse yourself into, okay, what works with my brain, right? You can't make it too hard. You've got to make it duplicatable. And what you do for one, you have to be able to do for 100, right? So if you're like one of those, you see people who are like, I'm going to send all of my people who certify a $50 Amazon gift card. That's not duplicatable. And that's not going to work when you have 2,000 people under you, right? Or we have 200 people in our team. I can't do that for everybody, right? That I would never be bringing money home. So you've got to find something that people can duplicate and that you can do for a mass amount of people, because you're going to grow. That's the beauty of this business. You're going to get more successful every single year is going to be better, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? Show up to the trainings. If you have one person under you and you're not showing up to our Zooms, I literally don't know what to tell you. I'm not trying to be ugly, but that makes no sense, right? If you are a leader in this business, there's not one excuse that, obviously there can be something that can get in the way, but if you are not showing up consistently to the trainings that Brittany and I are offering, and you're a leader, I don't know what to tell you. That's not what leaders do, right? And if you're not showing up, if you haven't showed up to the last 5 trainings we've done and you're wondering why your team doesn't care to work, I don't know what to tell you, right? That's not my business. I was at the training, right? My team is working. Right? Like that's a you thing, right? Okay. So like you've got to do some self-reflection as a leader every single day. Okay. What else? Poor work ethic breeds poor worth ethic. Okay. That's a mouthful, but let's say it again. Poor work ethic breeds poor work ethic. If you're not working your business, neither is your team. Okay. That's just really, I know I keep saying that, but that seems to be the point. If you're not working your business, neither is your team. If you haven't shown up and shown how you are on Rise and Grind, shown how you're working your business, and you want people, and you're wondering why I can't get anybody active on my team. Active, 200 PRV, but I haven't seen you on the team page in 6 months. I have the answer for you. You just don't want to hear it. Like it is what it is. You've got to take yourself seriously. It's another thing. Don't ask your team to do things you're not doing. Right? That just makes you shitty in general. Okay. Okay. Do what you say you're going to do. And but this is my last point on this topic. You don't need to know everything to be a leader. I didn't know nothing when Brittany chose to join under me. Okay. Like, why did she do that? I don't know, but it's okay, because it changed both of our lives. Right. Learn besides them. If you just joined yesterday and your best friend is like, hey, what are you doing? Have her join the next day and y'all learn side by side together. You don't need to know everything, right? You just need to show up, show how you're working, show how you're failing. Okay. Like let's be transparent and fail forward. I almost named this series Failing Forward, but we decided to go with Waymaker. But failing is a part of the systems, right? That's the point, is you're going to fail. Let's be clear. Not everything is going to work out. There are going to be hard days. There's going to be days you're going to want to quit. You are going to fail. The point is you have to fail forward and become the person that you know you can be. Okay. Because we're all worth so much more than what we are right now. If you die today, knowing that, I mean, you knew more today than you knew yesterday, right? So tomorrow you've got to know more tomorrow than you knew today. It's an all, like, you're always going to be learning. Okay. I could go on forever about that, but Brittany is the queen of self-care. So I'm going to hand it over to her. Make sure y'all screenshot this. Okay.
That was so good, Marissa. And one thing I'm actually writing down notes as you're talking, because one thing that I love that you talked about, I just put grow your business organically with a heart, because that's truthfully why I joined you, is because I saw you organically showing off a warmer that you genuinely thought was cool. And I just remember thinking, I can do that. You know, that seems pretty simple. You just do this, and reached out to you and answered questions. But you're right. You never once said, join my team. Hey girl, nothing.
No, that is not my style. That is not my style. And it might, like I said, it might hinder like my timeline, but I'm okay with that because I want people to know that they're not a number to me. Like I genuinely want to lead you and work beside you. I don't need you, right? Like that. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're being used. That's my thing.
Yeah, I like that. Well, self-care. I'm so glad that you put my name next to that topic. I'm so glad. So my very first YouTube video, other than like my story, was how lack of self-care can paralyze your business, because it happened to me. I almost quit Scentsy because of lack of self-care. So there's a thing called 3 legs to success. And the 3 legs is you have your sales or your PRV, you have your sponsoring, and then the third leg is your training. You're coaching yourself, and then you're teaching your team your training. But the last part of this leg or this stool is the seat. And the seat that you sit on is self-care. And what happened, at least for me, is I was doing the sponsoring, I was doing the sales, I was doing the training, but I did not sit down on that stool and take care of myself. And it completely paralyzed me, not only in my business, but it paralyzed my marriage, me as a mom. I felt like I was working like 8-hour days in Scentsy, and I was hustling till I couldn't hustle no more. And it's like I needed to take a step back, like you said, reevaluate myself as a leader and figure out what's not working. And then it's kind of like that aha moment. It was like, wow, it was self-care. And I remember sitting there thinking, what brings you joy, Brittany? Because it can't just be this Scentsy, and then when you have your day off, all you're doing is cleaning and running errands. Like, what actually brings you joy? So I sat there and I wrote everything down that brought me joy. And it was things like getting my nails done and getting my hair done, and going to the gym and spending time with my husband, watching movies. I just wrote a list of things down. I was like, okay, let's start implementing them once a month. And okay, let me get on my notes. So what brings you joy? You cannot pour from an empty cup. I love that phrase because that's so true. And also needing to know what's in your cup. A lot of people think because what you're pouring into yourself, if it's just nothing but negativity and self-doubt and I can't do this, then that's what you're pouring out on your team. And that's not what we want. We need you to fill up with love and with positive, and knowing that you are worth it, and you do deserve to be happy, and you do deserve love, and you do deserve prosperity. And whenever I say prosperity, I'm not talking just wealth, but I'm talking spirit, soul, and body, that you're well, completely whole. So I wrote down, you have to create a culture people don't want to leave, and that starts with you taking care of yourself and your business. Whenever I went to my first world tour, I had just joined Scentsy a few months ago, and I remember going to world tour by myself because Marissa lived hours away from me. Yep. And I met a few, at the time, I believe they were directors and star directors there. And the love that they poured out on me really made me believe in this Scentsy culture, but they couldn't have poured that love out on someone who wasn't on their team. I didn't add any value to them.
Not monetary, but you exactly. Did add value. Yeah.
Yes. And I remember thinking they couldn't have poured out on me if they weren't first filling up. You know what I mean? And so I truly believe that it does start with you. And it really starts with how you come into this business. I believe it starts with making the decision every morning. I actually wrote down right here on my next point. It says, allow Scentsy to bless you personally each month. And I love that you put down allow, because that means that it's a choice. That means that you have a decision to make based on what you believe.
Yep.
Do you believe that this business can bless you? Do you believe that that you have value in this business? Do you believe that you can share your story with people and that they can relate with you with something? With Scentsy at the beginning, it was just to get my nails done. And then recently, and I'll share with y'all, Mitch lost his job 3 days before Christmas. So then Scentsy turned into bills for me, like paying family bills that my husband couldn't pay for. And he didn't have a job for 1 full month. And Scentsy was able to pay for bills. And that really showed me, wow, this business can be life changing if I allowed it to be. And
Absolutely.
also sharing how much of a blessing it is to me. It's not just for some, it's feeding their wax addiction. It doesn't matter what the reason is for you, but allow Scentsy to bless you, and also be vulnerable enough to share that with others, no matter what it is, because it's not dumb, it's not stupid. Whether it's just to feed your own wax addiction or it's to go on trips, whatever the reason could be. Some people say it's for the friendships. I get that.
True.
Being
It's
a stay-at-home
true.
mom can be lonely sometimes. So allow Scentsy to bless your business. Remember, it is a choice. So let's see. So some self-care tips. Set business hours, and the biggest key is to stick to them. I didn't do that for the longest time, or I set the hours, but I didn't stick to them. Actually doing that has really changed my business dramatically. I went from working 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. to just working 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m. now. And I'm more successful now than I was then. And I was hustling till I couldn't hustle no more. But now I'm working with what's the word? Like laser like focus, when you sit down and you
You're
know what you
intentional.
want to do. Yes, that's the word. Yes. So I would say set business hours and stick to them. Take a day for you to rest or refresh. That doesn't mean take the day to run errands and clean and get everything that you need to get done because you don't have the kids for 2 hours. I mean, take a day for you to do whatever it is that you want to do. I actually really just enjoy laying down and watching movies and shutting my brain off from all the other things that I need to do. I actually did that yesterday. I watched The Blind Side and it was so nice. I left the dishes in the sink and I just watched a movie. Declutter and clean your space. This is a big one for me. Every night before I go to bed, I like to make sure that the dishes are done, that the living room's picked up. So when I wake up, all I have to do is make my bed, spray my bed, and get my day going. I don't have to worry about trying to clean. And I also feel like it's my mind letting me know, hey, the office is shut down for the day. Pack it up, we're done, you know?
Yep.
Read a devotional and pray. That's a big one for me. There's so many books. If you go on our team page and I believe you type in books, you'll see a lot of our recommendations of what we've read.
There's an
And
album
they're all
too.
so good. It's in the albums.
Yeah.
Good. Praying is a big one. Working out, that's really changed me a lot. Iced coffee, cheers to that.
Cheers.
And let me see, I wrote down one more thing. There's pressure in this life, and how you deal with that pressure will determine if you stay put or you move forward. And then I said, don't let one bad month affect your business. We all have them, just don't stay there.
Absolutely. Right. It's
So I'm
okay
gonna
to not be okay, but it's just not okay to stay there.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take off with that on boundaries, with not staying in that bad month and how we
Absolutely. Okay. So one of the beautiful things about Scentsy is that you get to choose who your leader is, right? Like it is your choice. And with that being said, all of like for even within Rise and Grind, every leader has something different to bring to the table. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So if you like, maybe you don't, I'm a little tough love. Okay. I am a little like more, this is how it is. If like, this is A plus B plus C equals D, right? Like that is me. If you need someone who's like, I don't want to say like more sugar coating. I don't think you're a sugar coater necessarily, but like you are more delicate with your wording, I would say, then Brittany is a fabulous leader for you, right? So it's very important who you choose, okay? And with that being said, you have to know what to expect from your leader, and your leader has to know what to expect from you. And those both start with boundaries, okay? So I was talking business hours with Miss Brittany for a year, maybe 2 years. Okay. And I could tell she was running herself dry. Okay. And I'm like, Brittany, you got to get some business hours. Like, you can't be working from sun up to sundown. Like, you can't be answering the phone at 10 p.m. That is not serving you. That's not serving your team. Like, take this with a grain of salt, but we are creating leaders. We're not creating leeches. Okay. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to show you that you can change your life if you allow it to. I am not here to Google things for you. I am not here to tell you what time zone you live in. I am not here to show you how to calculate tax. That is not what I have time to do. And if you don't have enough mutual respect for me as a person and as a business owner and as a leader and mentor, then we need to have a self-reflection about what our relationship is going to look like, right? I feel like also when you work with a lot of women, it's easy to get your people's feelings hurt. And one thing that we need to know is that you can't take things personal that are not personal. Okay. Most people's boundaries have nothing to do with you, right? Like, it has everything to do with them. If it hurts your feelings that someone's not responding to you immediately, that's a you problem. That has nothing to do with them, right? Like, and it's easy to let your anxiety as a leader get, oh, well, I didn't respond to her immediately. Well, you don't need to. Like, if they can't, that you don't need to, right? Like, I can go on and on about it, but I did blank out my phone number because this is going to be on YouTube, and just kidding, but I don't want like some random people texting me. So, but if you do want to get in contact with me, my link tree is connected to this, but this is what I have pinned to our announcements in the Rise and Grind group. You will be surprised at how many people still don't know what my phone number is. It's not blurred out on the Rise and Grind group. Okay. Or for instance, me personally, I don't check Facebook Messenger. It's a big no for me. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy to be sucked into another way to get into contact with me. If you need to talk to me, you know what my phone number is. It's right there. Right. And then you'll be surprised at how many people will be like, well, I messaged you 6 weeks ago on Messenger and you never text me back. Well, I've also put it on the team page about 700 times. It's even in the caption above this announcement that I don't check Messenger. I can't help that you don't read it. Right. Like, that's not a me problem. So you know exactly how to reach me. If you text me, I'm going to get back to you within a day, but you've got to have enough respect to read the caption above my business hours, right? Like, that is just, if your kids had a project due at school, are you like, and would you not read you got to read, right? Like, that's just it. So this is what I have attached to our Rise and Grind group. And it clearly states everything they need to know about me and when they can get a hold of me. Now, I will say that is my business hours, 10 to 4. That doesn't mean that I am available to talk from 10 to 4. That means that I am working my own business from 10 to 4. Okay. If I have whether that be I'm following up with customers, whether that be I'm making samples, whether that be I am making content, I'm doing trainings like this, that doesn't mean that from 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, I am available for you to call me all day. Right. Also, don't call me. I ain't answering the phone. That ain't going to happen. That is not my personality. You can call Brittany. She will probably answer. I am not answering the phone, right? You going to text me and we going to talk. Nope. Don't call me. Setting boundaries just means that people know what they can expect from you. And it's not like a, don't call me, I don't want to talk. Like, to you, it's just a, don't call me, I don't want to talk. Like, I am not, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me. So once again, on this, I show the chain of command because, like I said, that 10 to 4 doesn't mean that I'm responding immediately. It may take me a day to respond. So if you need it immediately, here's the way to find it. I got it all written out. There's no way. If you can't find it, or if you don't know within 2 days, that is a choice on your part. Like, I have easily explained the way to find your answer. So, the reason why we set boundaries and we set business hours is so that we can avoid burnout. You want this business to bless you. You don't want it to eat you alive, and it can. Okay. When you notice that you have 200 people under you and you're only one person, right? Brittany, she is a fabulous leader. She is top notch, 10 out of 10. People will still skip her to come to me. Why? I don't know. She knows just as much as I do, right? But because in their mind, I am a star director, they just think that they go straight to me, right? So when there's 200 people and there's only one me, that can eat me alive. I also have 2 kids. I also have a household to run. I also have a husband. I got 3 big, like, it's not that I'm not waiting for people to text me, right? Like, I have other things to do. So it can eat you alive. Boundaries avoid burnout. Boundaries avoid quitting, right? It's not it doesn't have to be personal, because it's not personal. Don't take things personal that are not personal. Okay. Let's see. When you're tired, you need to rest and reevaluate. You don't need to quit. But also on the flip side, rest is earned, right? If you don't have your lead, if you're a leader and you don't have 500 by the 15th, you don't need to be resting. You need to be working, right? Like, you need to, if you want this business to change your life, you've got to put in what you want to get out, right? This isn't a get rich quick scheme. And I want to say that real clear. This is not a pyramid scheme. This is not a get rich quick scheme. You've got to put in the work. It is what it is. Rest is earned. But if you are, you have your PRV is in order, your team knows you're there for them, and you just still feel like you're burnt out, instead of quitting, you need to rest when you're tired, right? And that goes back to that self-care stuff. What are you pouring into your life? Are you allowing all of your teammates to tell you that their neighbor's dog died yesterday? That doesn't serve you, right? I love you, but I don't care that your neighbor's dog died yesterday. That is very sad, right? But we all have neighbors that their dog died yesterday. Like, we all have something that could be like, oh, that sucks, right? You're an adult. You've got to learn how to deal with your emotions, right? Like, I'm amazed at how many people don't know how to deal with their emotions, right? So what else? Let's see.
You're so tough love. I love it, because I would sit here and I go, oh, you're done. Let me coddle you. Let me pat your back.
I know you would. And I love that about you, but that is not what people, I don't need people to expect that from me. I don't want you, like, that's a big no. It ain't gonna happen with me, girl. You need to choose Brittany then. Okay, let's see. Set business hours with an open line of communication. And I just mean that by saying, make sure that they know that, like, I have it clearly written, please allow 24 hours for a response. That 10 to 4 does not mean that I am available to you from 10 to 4, right? I am not Burger King. We are not open all night. I got my own shit to take care of, right? Let's see, back to mutual respect. Show up when you don't feel like it, because your team chose you, right? I don't know if y'all saw my birthday shout out from Brittany, but that literally made my day, by the way. And she was just saying, like, wow, like, no one knew what was going on in Marissa's life this last year. And here she was showing up every single day, because this is my job, right? Like, my job is to show you the way, right? And this pays for a lot of things for me, right? Like, this, I mean, I have allowed this to change my life. So I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. That is not on my list to do, right? Like, I got a long to-do list, and feeling sorry for myself ain't it. Feeling sorry for you ain't it. You got problems and you want to create a solution, you can text me. If you just want to talk about your problems, don't text me. Like, that's not it for it. That's not productive for anyone, right? But if you do just, like, always want to talk about your problems, I think you should see a therapist. I'm very pro therapy, by the way. Little side note. Okay, what else? Everybody's tired. Why would your team show up if you're not? Back to this beginning, leading from the front, right? Once again, don't ask your team to do things that you're not doing. That's just not cool. And then one little tip about boundaries, people will be like, oh my God, you're always on Facebook. No, the fuck I am not. I have scheduled those posts about a month ago, and that's the point. The point is to look like I'm showing up every single day, but no, you just don't know that I took an hour out of my Monday scheduled post for a month. I can't help that I work smarter than you. Like, I am not always on Facebook. Like, no, I asked Brittany, I delete my social media apps every single morning so that I don't stay on Facebook, because that doesn't serve me, right? I will catch myself scrolling. Scrolling ain't making me money. Goodbye. I'm deleting the app, and I'll allow myself 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at lunch, 15 minutes at like before bed, to, like, interact and build relationships with people. but I literally will delete it after this. I like will reinstall the app. Like that's a lot to do. You don't have to do all that. If you have more self-control for you, I'm very happy, but I don't. So I will notice as soon as I'm bored, I am either like eating a cracker or I am on Facebook. So it doesn't serve me. So I delete the app. And that's a boundary that I set, right? All of my training posts on the team page, guess what? Those are scheduled. All of my VIP posts on my page, guess what? Those are scheduled. And you know how you can know? Because sometimes when I don't schedule a post and I'm like, oh, I need to post that. I'm like, I posted 5 things today because I forgot that the other ones were scheduled. So my bad if I blew up my VIP that day. But that's literally, you'd be surprised at how people that's another system. So find a system, right? Okay, I think that's all I got for boundaries. Boundaries avoid burnout is the main thing though. So another thing is boundaries are not personal. So don't take someone's boundaries personally. Okay. Honestly, if someone's taking your boundaries personally and they're getting in their feelings about like, oh, then they probably needed it more than anybody, right? Like they probably thought that they had way too much access to your life, right? Like the only person that needs that much access to your life is your children, your husband, and God. Like it just is not anything else. It doesn't, you don't need 24-hour access. So let's see what's next. I'm gonna give it to Brittany. Networking.
I love networking. This is to me the make or break of your business, because when you join Scentsy, you're really excited. You get your launch party going, you hit that 1,000, you get your certified, and then a month later, you're still, serving those people. They're still ordering, but then about that 3rd or 4th month, you really don't have any more people to sell to. And that to me is the pivotal point in your business where most people either break off, like we're talking about constantly replacing that 80%, or they say, you know what, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna do the hard things, and I'm gonna go this way and be successful. So what are you other than Scentsy? What are your pillars? What can people go to your Instagram or Facebook account, mainly Instagram? I feel like you can really show your pillars, but when people go to your profile, can they look at something and say, me too? You like Jesus? Me too. You're a dog mom? Me too. You got a house full of kids? Me too. How can people relate to you and say, me too? Because that's truthfully why we follow the people we follow, is because they're bringing some type of value to our feed that we want to continue to interact with their posts. I can tell you a lot of the people that I follow are people who are networking gurus and I want to learn from them, or people who make me laugh, or pastors who post motivational things, or people who dress nice, because sometimes I need an idea of how to look nice. So if you go to your Instagram right now, I can tell a lot by your last 6 pictures, and I can tell you within, I believe, 5 to 10 seconds, whether or not I want to follow you and whether or not I can relate with you. So as you're thinking of this, I want you to go to your networks or your platforms, and I want you to look at your profile pictures. If it's nothing but graphics and random stuff, go ahead and erase it. Or
baby mama drama.
Yes, let's go ahead and our political views, let's just go ahead and just cut it out, and then let's start fresh. Really think about, what are you other than Scentsy? Your business will not survive off your first 25 customers. You have to meet new people. And that's why I said your first 3 months, after that 3rd month, it's really pivotal whether or not you're going to continue with Scentsy or if you're just going to fail. I put together a graphic of some things that show different ways to network. I didn't send it to Marissa, so I'm going to post it on the team page. A word of advice: print it out or screenshot it. And if you want, scratch it off the list as you continue to do it. And I guarantee if you scratch off all those things, your business will grow.
Yeah.
You have the power to change people's lives, starting by changing your own. Take this opportunity seriously. This isn't, for some, it's not a game. It's a
Hobby.
A hobby. There you go. Thank you. But for others, like I said, my husband lost his job. And if it wasn't for Scentsy, I wouldn't have had a way to pay for my groceries that week. So this to me is very serious. And it's awesome when there's a girl on my team who was able to pay for her chemo treatment because of Scentsy. Scentsy paid for her chemotherapy. That is mind blowing to me. Another teammate of mine said that she was able to pay for nursing classes. That's, to me, like, that makes me so happy to know that Scentsy's changing people's lives.
Because
So,
of you.
Yes, thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah.
So where can you meet new people? I want you to think about places you go. For me, my daughter's in gymnastics. I'm constantly connecting with people there, constantly, because you can't use the excuse I don't go anywhere or I'm just a stay-at-home mom, because everything's virtual now. There's literally no excuse. In fact, my business has grown more since becoming virtual because everything's right there on your feet, in the palm of your hand, literally.
Yep.
When you think of earning Disney trips, do you see yourself doing that? Do you actually visualize yourself earning those incentives or getting that high PRV? Because if you don't see yourself, you'll never get there. Whenever I heard about the Disney trip, I printed out a picture and I have to find it. I cropped my husband and I in the picture and I put it up on my vision board because I saw ourselves at Disney and I knew I wanted to earn it, and I did. And I'm so happy about that. People are watching you. So what are you putting out there? Because that matters. So if you're just putting out there drama, or you're quote unquote venting, or you're sharing, the latest whatever is going on, it's just, again, you have to ask yourself, what value are you adding? And if you're not into social media, because I do have some teamies that really don't do social medias, but what they rock at doing is branding themselves. You put stickers on your car, you wear the Scentsy hat, you got your Scentsy bag. Just everywhere you go, you're branding yourself and you smell good, and it opens up so much conversations. Another good way is I make basket parties and I forcefully give them to people. And what I mean by that is I went to my son's elementary school. I walked in the office. I was scared. My heart was in my butt. And I said, "Hey, how are y'all doing today? My son goes here. He's in first grade. I'm a Scentsy consultant. Here's a basket full of goodies. I know that you teachers love this stuff." And right away, as soon as I said Scentsy, they're like, "Oh my God, we love Scentsy. Yes, give it here." And I said, "Look, if you want to put in the teacher lounge, I'll come pick it up next Friday. How does that sound?" "Yeah, absolutely." And next thing you know, the PWS orders start coming in. It's simple. You just kind of got it. It was hard. You got to do the hard things. Get out of your car, make the basket, stuff
That
like
is the hard part, is literally just getting your actual body into the office. Like, that is the hard part. So good for you that you did that, because that's not easy for everybody.
it's it's not, because and that's funny coming from a star director, from a director, and there's even SSDs who to this day, when they hop on and do a training with over 300 people watching, they still say their hands are shaking, and that it's
Yeah.
just it's hard. It's hard for us too. You just have to do the hard things if you want this business to grow.
I love that you said that. It is hard for us too. Another thing is like the lives. Like, I can't go live. Like, if you think that I just was born being like, I'm going to be great at on Facebook Live, like, you're literally delusional. Like, no, that's a practiced skill. And 5 years in, I still get nervous, but I do it nervous anyway. Just do it anyway.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So many people, they can relate when they hear the kids screaming in the background. They can relate when they hear the dog barking. And then they start to think, I remember what made me join. And we talked about growing your business organically. Marissa sat on a bed with a warmer. She didn't have any backdrops, no ring light, no microphone. That was it. And she made it look so simple. And I was like, if she can do that, I can do that too. And then that was it.
And that really isn't.
People want to know what you have to offer. Will it benefit me? And that kind of goes back to the social media platform. They want to look at your profile and wonder, will any of this benefit me? Because they don't care about the graphics and the marketing flyers. I promise you that they don't care about people. Your downline matters. They're not just numbers. And whenever you get teamies, don't feel like they owe you anything, or that, am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And another thing is, like, just for instance, just because they didn't choose you to be your sponsor, if you're in their upline, reach out to them. They matter, right? Like, those people that's a part of creating that culture that people don't want to leave. People don't just look up to Brittany. They look up to me too. Do they know me because of Brittany? Probably. But that we still have all created this community that we love and feel connected through.
yep, that is so true. So we've said this in every video and almost in every slide. Your monthly goal should be 2,000 PRV so you can get that commission raise. And the reason why I say 2 new teamies is because normally out of the 2, one of them's gonna just kind of take the kit and go. So for me, I feel like every 2, one of those 2s is gonna take off.
Yeah.
So I always like to strive for 2 a month. And that just also lets me know that I'm growing my business the way that it should be. So where can you meet new people? Social media, parties, events, referrals is a big one. Just get you some cute little referral stickers, or sometimes I purposely do what I call referral follow-ups, where I message someone as a follow-up. And then I also kind of throw in there, can you also reach out to X, Y, and Z, and you'll get a free scent bar from me or something. Just I do what's called referral follow-ups, where I'm distinctly just trying to get new contacts. Like I said, I'm going to post a graphic with other ways you can network, but those are kind of the bread and butter of it all. When you think of your business, do you see yourself? When you think of yourself, like I said earlier, going to Disney or being a superstar director, can you visually picture yourself? I would really recommend that you visually print out something, somehow crop your face on it. I don't care. Make a vision board. Do something where you can see yourself, because if you don't see yourself doing it, you'll never get there.
Right.
People are watching you, so what you put out there matters. Okay, and I do want to say that my last 3 recruits, I don't know them personally, and I asked all 3 of them why they joined, and they all said because my story on Instagram. That's it. They said you made your stories, your energy, watching you every day, you're funny, you're this, I can relate to you. So I would say that stories have probably been the main reason why I'm sponsoring right now, is just being authentic in my stories.
Yeah, you're so good at that.
And that's truthfully all I have to say about networking. It's not as hard as you think. The hardest part is, like Marissa and I said, getting out of the car and just doing it. Just
Getting on the live.
do it. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you have to count down in 3, 2, 1 and just do it, just do it. Do what you got to do.
Do it nervous, right? Like do it scared. It's just doing it. Show up. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is recognition, because as a leader, and especially in Scentsy, it's so easy to get caught up in like, that leader is doing that and that leader sent her that, and how am I going to afford that? Like, I want to squash all that. So I did steal these posts. I did not make these. Thank you to whoever made these. These were wonderful. The only thing I have to say is I will never say, hey girl, never, not one time in my, ain't ever going to hear those 2 words come out of my mouth, because that is so cringy to me. And if like any of my team members are hey girling people, I just want to say that I didn't teach them that. Okay. So, but recognition. Okay. So right here, this leadership recognition, what to recognize. Leadership starts with 1. You have 1 person under your team. You need to be recognizing them. You need to recognize things that you want replicated. So if they got 2,000 PRV 1 month, you need to be, holy shit, girl, that is amazing. Get it, girl. Like whatever you have to do, pump them up so that they feel like, oh my gosh, I got to do that again. Because it's like a rush of adrenaline when someone's shouting you out, right? Like when you feel seen, that is a beautiful thing, right? You want everyone on your team to feel seen. You don't want people to slip through the cracks. You need to learn how to work your workstation, how to work your reports, because it is easy, especially when your team grows. I'm someone who has slipped through the crack somewhere along the way, and that's not a great feeling. But I'm also someone who, I don't do things for my sponsor, right? Like I do things for my own self. So here are things that you can recognize. Paid at title, that's a beautiful thing, right? Whatever title they are, being paid at title is the number 1 step in a consistent habit that is going to create a beautiful business, a thriving business. Becoming a leader, that's a beautiful thing. Promotions, obviously, that's great. Top PRV sponsors, top team contributors, all of those things. I usually will make our Facebook cover page each month our top people, and people love that. They eat it up. It's free. It's literally free. Okay. Like nothing about that costs me money. It takes me about 15 minutes to make. I gotta like run the Excel sheet, things like that. Right. Up and comers, like, girl, I see you going live. That is the business way to go. Right. Like things like that. Incentive earners, award earners, you earned annual sales. Holy shit. That's amazing. Like, whoa, you sponsored 3 people that month. Tell us what you're doing. I want you, I don't care if you've been in here for 2 days, you do something amazing. I want you on the team page showing how you do it. You are valuable. You matter, right? What you have to say matters. I see it in the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Okay. Another thing that's not numbers that you can recognize is like personal growth. Like, Do you have someone who has never gone live in 2 years and whoa, year 3, they started going live? I see you. That matters. Okay. Does it add, like, is it monetary? No, it's not, but it matters. I see you growing as a person, and that is beautiful. So things that don't cost money, text, Facebook wall post, y'all screenshot this because my computer is going to die. So I'm not going to go into all this. You can see the words. So screenshot this. Let's see. A team binder. I have, go literally type in team binder on our Facebook group and you're gonna find it, right? Like we can do a separate video a different day about that, but that matters. You need to be recording the people's stuff under you so that when they come to you and they're like, I'm quitting because my business isn't working. And I'm gonna be like, well, you haven't been active in 6 months. I don't know what, like, let's talk about getting active. Like how, that way when people come at you and you have the data to push them in the right direction, right? Shout outs, recognition is free, social media, texting, voice messaging is so valuable because they can feel you through, they can like feel your energy and what you are trying to, how you're trying to connect with them. I love voice. That's something that I've been implementing over this last year. And voice messaging is very, very intentional and it doesn't let things get misconstrued like texting can. Okay. Like I said, leadership is servanthood, right? Serve people well, right? You chose to do this. People chose you. Take pride in that and be like, even if you fake it, right? Fake it till you make it. Like, isn't that kind of like what everything is? Like, you don't know everything day one, but you got to like fake it till you make it. Postcards are super cheap to send. You can obviously do gifts if that's what your budget, allows, but just remember that what you do for 1, you've got to do for 100 because you don't want someone to be like, oh, Brittany sent me a $50 Amazon gift card for getting certified. And then her next certified, maybe she had to pay some bills. Maybe her husband lost her job and she didn't have an extra $50, right? And they're going to be like, well, she just must like her more than me, right? People get real in their feelings in business like this. Okay. So you've got to be able to replicate for 1 for 100. Okay. And then Brittany, I'm going to let you take off to leadership. Let's be fast because my computer's going to die.
All right. Honestly, as I'm looking over the notes in the leadership, I really just kind of wanted to wrap it up in the scary goals and dream bigger, because I feel like something that we've really touched on during all of this is do the hard things. And I want you to ask yourself, what's your PRV goal and what's your sponsor goal this month? And I'd love for you to text it to me or text it to your sponsor.
Yep.
What's your family goal? What's your financial goal? If you're not, what's that saying? If your mouth is closed, then your business is closed.
Yep. That's the saying.
I want to leave it on for y'all.
And that's so true. Find an accountability partner and get your shit done. Like that literally is it. Like find someone who matches your energy, who isn't going to let you be a sob story to yourself, who's not going to let your anxiety who's going to tell you like, yes, those feelings are relevant and they're real, but it's a lie from your anxiety, right? Like it is a lie. Like, no, you are a badass. No, you can do this. No, you will change your life. Find somebody who's going to pour that into you until you believe it yourself, right? Find someone who's gonna, if you come to me and you say, I'm ready to quit, I'm not going to be like, listen, like, I'm not going to beg you to stay because that's not who I am either. If this isn't serving you well, I want you to be happy over anything, right? I want you to feel loved and filled and know that I am here for you. Even if Scentsy is gone tomorrow, I love you still, but I see your potential and I think you're making a bad choice. Okay. Even ask Brittany, we've had conversations like that. Like, I am here to show you that you can do hard things. You are incredible. You are magic. Okay. I'm really into like, I love that. You are magic. And then another thing is, if you're a leader who was on fire, this is the last thing I'm going to say. This is not on the notes, but if you're a leader who was on fire at one point, we see this a lot when people hit director, right? Because that's the big leap in numbers for leadership, right? You go from 6,000 to 10,000. Okay. That's the biggest leap you're going to have before anything else. Okay. If you're a leader who you're on fire and you're doing everything right, and then life happens and then you just fall off, right? Things get hard. You let it get to you. You let it, we've all been there. We've all been there. You can say sorry to your team. You can be transparent, be vulnerable, show up on, make a post, show up live and say, listen, I know I have not been leading the way I want to. I know that I have not been showing up for you or my own business, but I want to start today. I want to relaunch. I want to restart. People love you even regardless, right? It is never too late. It's never too late to restart. And you're not, my husband wrote some notes on here. It's so funny. You are not too good to say sorry, right? If it's okay, because you have an upline who loves your team just as much as you do and will train them the way they need to be trained. But if you want this back and you want to recreate a future that you were working towards, get on a live and be vulnerable and tell them what happened, right? Say, I am sorry that I have not been there the way I am. And I hope that you know that I am going to try again. But with that being said, if you're only talk, they're going to see right through that too. You got to show up every single day. If you want to relaunch this, which you can, whatever day you choose, I'm here. And you want to say, listen, I let life get in the way. Things got hard. I needed a break. We're all human. We get it, right? That's okay. But show up. You ready to restart? Start showing up every single day. Show how you're working. Tell your team you're sorry. You're not above that. You're not too big for that, right? Do you tell your kid, like if you're a mother, do you tell your kids you're sorry? You should, right? They deserve an apology. We all mess up, right? Like, I'm sorry that I yelled at you. Like, you didn't deserve that. They know that we are also human, right? You're human, we're human. It's all going to be okay. But if you are ready to relaunch this and you are ready to get back into business and you are ready to figure out, okay, I don't want to feel stuck anymore, right? Stay away from the people who are still complaining, still broke, still suffering, still stuck. People who are still ain't for you, baby. You are worth more. You are too magical to be around those people. And you are a mix of the top 5 people you speak to. Okay. So saying sorry as a leader, you're not above it, right? And I wrote under that, but your actions have to meet your words. And then my husband wrote under that, forgiveness, it's more than saying sorry, right? So you start with, I'm sorry, and then your actions show the way to allow people to forgive you. So that's all I got for this. You have anything else?
No, that was so good. I actually love that we're kind of ending it on that.
This is the last slide right here. So dreams don't work unless you do. I love that. That's a huge thing because I got big dreams, but they're not going to happen with me sitting my ass on my couch watching Netflix 25 hours a day. Okay. Not 24, 25. Okay. And then the 7 C's to build a winning team is 1, coaching. I have another training that I'm actually going to redo one of these days. And it's like coaching versus cheering. Okay. There's 2 different things. Number 2 is character. 3, communication. That goes along with those boundaries. 4 is commitment, showing up when you don't want to. Tough luck. You're a leader. You trying to make this real. 5 is contagious energy. Are you serious? Are you excited? We talked about that last video. That matters, right? 6 is caring. And that goes into the, I don't like, even if Scentsy's gone tomorrow, I love you for you, right? But I know your potential and I know your worth, and we're going to push you into that direction. And then the 7 is consistency. Like, once again, showing up every single day, showing how you're working. I don't care if you're showing what postage you put on your mail. That matters. That's going to help somebody. There's not a stupid question and there's not a stupid training. Okay. A lot of people would be like, think that, okay, well, all I did was this. I just got this. I hate when people say that. I just did this. Like, no. You take that just out. I did that. Right. You didn't do it yesterday. You did it today. That matters. Okay. So I love these 2 things. So I wanted to share them with y'all. We love you guys. We hope that you're getting something from these trainings. And next week will be week 3. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay. I'm going to hop off now. So I hope you all have an amazing day.